Okay, Marty Coleman here. It is April 16th, 2022. That means today, Parker's going to recap the games of April 15th, 2022, which incidentally, there were 15 of. Without further ado, Parker Coleman.
Yesterday, Jackie Robinson Day, we had 15 games to go over, and let's just get right into it. Mets Diamondbacks is the first game, first 2-day games, and probably the least interesting of the 2-day games. In the bottom of the first two singles by McNeil and Marte lead to a Pete Alonso sac fly. In the bottom of the third, McNeil singles and Lindor walks lead to another Pete Alonso sac fly. Cano homers making it 3-0. In the bottom of the fourth, in the bottom of the fifth, Marte singles and Lindor homers. In the bottom of the fifth, I should say. In the top of the sixth, Varcho homers making it 5-1. In the bottom of the seventh, Lindor walks, scores on an Escobar double. In the bottom of the eighth, Davis walks, Jankowski singles, and Marte homers. Lindor then homers the second of the day. Lindor is starting to heat up. Top of the ninth, Cooper Hummel and Peyton Smith walk. Seth Beard doubles, and Alcantara grounds out to score 2. Well, his ground didn't score 2. The double and the ground out scored 2 combined. But the Diamondbacks lose 10-3 to the Mets. Pretty unexciting game, probably unless you're a New York Mets fan, to be honest with you. Bassett went 6 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts. Marte was 3 for 5 with a home run, 3 RBIs. Lindor was 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs, 2 runs, and a walk. Those are the 3 stars. 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for the Diamondbacks. 10 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Mets. This game was very interesting. We saw the Joe Ryan that I thought we would see against Seattle in opening day. He went 6 innings, only gave up 1 run. We start on the top of the first as Buxton doubles, but he's injured. And that's been a common theme with Byron Buxton. That's why the Twins were able to get him for such a little amount of money. But it was said that it wasn't serious and that he might only need a week or so off, and that's good because Buxton, it's better for the MLB whenever he's playing because he's so talented. And he would probably be making, I'd say, about $250 million if he didn't have such an injury history. Nick Gordon pinch runs for him, and he's singled in by Luis Arraez, making it 1-0. Larnack walks, and Sano homers, making it 3-0. Gordon singles, and Arraez doubles in the second, making it 4-0. Verdugo homers in the bottom of the second to get the Red Sox on the board. But that was really the only blip for Joe Ryan, as in the top of the fifth, Correa walks, Polanco doubles, both score on a Gary Sanchez single at 6-1. When Ryan's out in the bottom of the eighth, Bradley and Hernandez both double for a run. Devers homers and the Red Sox are back in it at 6-4. However, the Twins get 2 insurance runs in the top of the ninth as Correa walks again. Polanco walks. A run scores on a Kepler single, and then another run scores on a Trevor Larnach groundout. The Twins beat the Red Sox 8-4. Ryan, who is some people's Rookie of the Year pick, went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts. Rise was 2 for 4, double, and 2 RBIs. Sano was 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a home run. 8 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Twins. 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Red Sox. Nationals Pirates. This game was all Nationals, except for the bottom of the second. The Nationals actually started off with 4 straight hits by Hernandez, Soto, Cruz, and Bell. That scored 2 runs. Escobar with single, steal second, score on a Cruz single in the top of the second. In the bottom of the second, Tetsugo would single, Gamble and Andrew Knapp would walk. There are just so many random names on the Pirates, like Andrew Knapp, Jake Marisnick, Ben Gamble, Daniel Vogelbach. Those are like all just random players. Hoy Park would single, driving in 2, making it 3-2 Nationals. That'd be about all the celebrating the Pirates fans would do. Is in the top of the fourth, Soto and Hernandez would both single again to lead to a Nelson Cruz RBI groundout. Top of the fifth, Yadiel Hernandez doubles and scores on a Lane Thomas double. Escobar would be hit in the top of the sixth. Soto and Cruz would walk. A 2 RBI single for Bell makes it 7-2. That's the score the Nats would win at. Eric Fed was the first star, 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts. Cruz was 2 for 4, 3 RBIs. He was the second star. Bell was also 2 for 4, 3 RBIs. He was the third star. 7 hits, 10 runs, no errors for the Nationals. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Pirates. Phillies Marlins. This game was of a similar score. In the bottom of the first, Soler and Sanchez both double for the first run. Aguilar single, scoring Sanchez. In the bottom of the second, Rojas and Stallings would single. Both are scored on a Jazz Chisholm triple. Chisholm and Sanchez have been the two best hitters for the Marlins, and I don't know why, but Chisholm's still batting ninth. Maybe any Marlins fan can explain that to me. And Aguilar, wait, hold on, sorry, I skipped the line. In the bottom of the fifth, Cooper doubles and scores on a Sanchez triple. In the last 6 games, Jesus Sanchez is batting .360, on base percentage .360, slugging of .800, OPS of 1,160. It's only 6 games, but he's had 9 hits, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 2 doubles, 2 triples. So Jesus Sanchez is just playing really, really good. Fun fact, he's the second player ever in Marlins history named Jesus Sanchez. Not related to each other at all. Aguilar scores him on a sac fly, making it 6-0. Chisholm and Soler walk. Cooper is hit. Aguilar hits another sac fly, making it 7-0. Castellanos homers put the Phillies on the board, but the Phillies lose 7-1. Aguilar's the first start, 1 for 2 with 3 RBIs. Sanchez went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs, double, triple. He was the second star. Chisholm went 1 for 3 with a walk, a triple, 2 RBIs. He was the third star. Pablo Lopez also deserves some credit for throwing 5 1/3 scoreless innings on a very good offense of the Phillies. 1 run, 8 hits, no errors for the Phillies, 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Marlins. Yankees-Orioles. This game went by pretty quickly. Well, writing it did. I don't know what the game actually, because it actually went to 11 innings. After Higashioka doubles, he scores on a Stanton single in the top of the third, making it 1-0 Yankees. The O's are able to tie it as Hayes doubles. Mateo gets thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double, but Hayes scores before that, so the run counts. And I think there was 2 outs. That's why I mentioned it. Montgomery and Lyles both pitched very, very well. But we go to the 10th inning. No one scores in the 10th. In the 11th, Ben Boom and Gutierrez are walked by Clark Schmidt. Chapman comes in and walks Urias to win the game. Well, he didn't win the game. The O's won the game, but the game ended. Aaron Boone, somehow the headline was he got ejected after the game, which was very weird. He followed the umpires to the dressing room. Now, this is not going to be an easy thing for any Yankees fans to hear. And if you don't like this, feel free to unsubscribe. But the umpire is not the reason that you only scored 1 run on the Orioles. You should score more than 1 run on Jordan Lyles. And that pitch was a ball. So some Yankees fans saying it wasn't, it's easily. It's not a ball. Or it is a ball, sorry. It's not a strike is what I should be saying. The Yankees lose to the Orioles 2-1 in walkout fashion. Urias was the first start. His walk was the winning RBI. Montgomery went 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 strikeouts. Lyles went 5 1/3, 6 hits, 1 run, 4 strikeouts. And I only say that because all I see on social media is the Yankees fans blaming the Orioles. And then they go to the trusty, yeah, we have 27 rings. Okay, who cares? Most of those happened before, like, the World Wars. Well, World Wars, you all say. 1 run, 7 hits, no errors for the Yankees. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Orioles. It's not that 27 rings isn't good. It's that no one really cares about who won the World Series in 1927. A's Blue Jays, this game was pretty low scoring. Vlad Guerrero Jr. hits another home run. He has 5 home runs in his last 10 at-bats, I believe it is. It's a 1-0 lead. And I think in 4 of those other at-bats were strikeouts, so that's kind of funny. Tapia single scores on an Espinal double. Bottom of the second, making it 2-0. Kemp and Murphy both single. Pinder gets an RBI single. The A's cut the lead in half. It's 2-1 in the 6th. The Gurriel singles in the bottom of the 6th. Both Chapman and Espinal walk. Zach Collins, not the Spurs Zach Collins. The Blue Jays Zach Collins hits an RBI single. At the bottom of the 7th, Springer and Gurriel double. They don't walk. For another round, the Blue Jays win 4-1. Guerrero was the first star, 2 for 3, home run, RBI walk. Gurriel was the second star, 2 for 3, double, walk, RBI. Collins was the third star, 2 for 4, double, RBI. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for the A's. 4 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Jays. Another game ending at 4-1. This time the road team won. Giants and Guardians. Rodon, even though he's in the National League West, he still gets to face the Guardians, team he almost got a perfect game against. Crawford hits a solo home run in the second to start off the scoring. At the top of the sixth, Peterson hits a solo home run, making it 2-0. Rodon goes 7 innings. In the seventh, Ramirez would walk, Reyes would single, and Owen Miller hit a sac fly. First run for the Guardians. It's 2-1. That would be all that Rodon gave up. At the top of the eighth, Estrada would reach on an air, and Joey Bart would homer. Final score would be 4-1. Giants beat the Guardians first of this interleague set. Rodon went 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 9 strikeouts. Bart was 2 for 4 with a home run and 2 RBIs. Peterson was 2 for 3 with a home run and an RBI. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Giants. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error for the Guardians. This game was low scoring as well. White Sox Rays. Sheets doubles in the bottom of the second, and then later scoring a wild pitch. In the bottom of the third, Jake Berger hits a solo shot, making it 2-0, doubling the lead. Berger would get another RBI in the fifth, as Garcia would double, and then he would single. And then the Rays would start a rally in the sixth. Lau would walk, and then Choi and Diaz would hit back-to-back doubles. G-Man Choi, before the game started today, he had the highest OPS, I believe it was, in baseball. And, of course, it's 7 games, but those are the fun stats you can have after 7 games. That'd be it. The White Sox beat the Rays 3-2. Berger goes 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. However, he was the first star. Cease was really good against the Rays line. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts. Choi went 1 3 with a double and RBI. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Rays. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the White Sox. What's your question?
No questions. I just wanted to say G-Man Choi is one of our favorite players. You even have a G-Man Choi jersey.
Yes, even though I don't live anywhere near Florida. Thank goodness.
We did see it last year.
Yeah, and the other unfortunate part about that was the Yankees fans we were sitting next to. I think every single player in baseball is a PUSS word to those Yankees fans. They're even calling Judge like
yeah.
It was like, how do they enjoy baseball? Like, why are you fans?
Or life.
Yeah, I don't know how they're fans if they just curse at every single player and hate what's going on. Except for A-Rod. They loved A-Rod, even though he's a blank. Anyways, tangent aside, Angels Rangers. If you think you're stupid, wait and then first of all, you need to get some self-confidence. Second of all, hearing what Joe Madden did yesterday will get you that self-confidence. But we start at the top of the first. So Ohtani hits a solo shot. In the top of the second, Adele hits a solo shot. It's 2-0. Lowe and Solak single. Corbison's fielder's choice is an RBI fielder's choice. Scoring Lowe, it's 2-1. Abanya singles and Solak is hit. Culberson doubles, scoring 2. White singles, Semien walks, and then Corey Seager walks with the bases loaded intentionally. The only 2 times this happened since World War II was Barry Bonds and Josh Hamilton. Madden was the one who said Josh Hamilton. I forgot who the Diamondbacks manager was back then. And I think it was the 98 season whenever Bonds was walked to the bases loaded. Here's why this is a stupid idea. No, it did not work. Rangers scored 2 more runs. The only way an intentional walk with the bases loaded should work is with 2 outs. And the guy after him is way worse than the guy before him. Not only were there not 2 outs, there was 1 out, but this was not near the end of the game. In both games, the Rays were losing to the Rangers by 4, I'd like to say. And a home run by Hamilton, grand slam, ties the game. All right. So you get that. You understand that. And the Diamondbacks were only up by 2 in the Barry Bonds game. Walk him, make it a 1-run game. Both times, they won. And the Angels won here. It's just not a smart idea. And for every Angels fan saying it works, first of all, why are y'all defending Joe Madden now? Y'all don't like having Joe Madden as your manager. You think, from what I've seen, Angels fans think he's over the hill. But just because the offense came back and won doesn't mean that the move was a good idea and worked. The offense can be good and the manager can be an idiot not that Joe Madden is a bad manager historically. I just think the Angels. I think the game's kind of passed them by. It was not a very smart move, but the Angels did win. I mean, heck, Mike Trout was questioning you, so I don't think. Yes.
Well, two things. Didn't mean to interrupt your thought, but two things. First of all, I've told you this before, but Joe Madden was my friend's manager in Double A in 1985 or six when he got called up to the major league. So that's how long Joe Madden's been around. So that's 37 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
And second of all, you're absolutely right. Just because the results worked out doesn't mean it was a good decision. You could decide to run through traffic and make it to the other side of the road safely. It doesn't make it a good decision.
Yes. And I understand the thought process behind the walks to Hamilton and Bonds. I don't think walking someone with the bases loaded is inherently dumb. If you're in a big position like the 8th or 9th inning and you're up by a few runs and you don't want a home run to be hit. But also, nothing against Corey Seager. He's a great hitter, but he's not Barry Bonds. So, but it's just not. I don't think it was a good idea. 2 more runs would score as Gardner hits a sac fly and Simeon scores on a balk. I think this is the first time all year someone has scored on a balk. I'm really waiting for a walk-off balk to happen. That would be very entertaining. I'm pretty sure like 8 of those have happened in existence or something like that, or at least 8 that have been recorded. So I want the walk-off balk to happen this year. In the top of the 5th, this is where the Angels come back. Suzuki homers, Velasquez singles, Ohtani homers, Trout doubles, scores on a Walsh single, Rendon singles, and then Marsh hits a sac fly just like that, 7-6. In the top of the 7th, Trout walks, Walsh homers. So home run happy Angels, save Madden. 9-6, the final score. Angels over the Rangers, tie the series. Ohtani was the first start. He was 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs, 2 home runs. Walsh was 2 for 5, 3 RBIs, home run. Culberson was 1 for 2, 3 RBIs and a double. He was the third starter despite his team losing. 9 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Angels. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Rangers. Royals Tigers. This will probably be the quickest review that I've had. Skubal and Keller would duel. In the bottom of the 4th, Perez would single. Benintendi would reach on air. And then a Santana single would bring him home. It's 1-0 Royals. And if that was all that happened, then it would have been 2 lines. That would have been the whole review. This game didn't have a whole lot of notes to have taken down on it. Cabrera would double in the top of the 7th, and Torkelson would hit his 2nd home run. The Tigers would win a close one, 2-1, a very clutch home run by Torkelson. Like I said, this is probably one of the smallest recaps. That's a bit of a glimpse into the future for what Tigers can expect with Spencer Torkelson. Here's the first stars. He had the clutch home run and went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Keller went 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts. Skubal went 5 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts. Keller pitched amazing, got no run support from the Royals. Skubal was pretty good, but he didn't end up getting the win because he was out before that home run was hit. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the Tigers, 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for the Royals. Only 3 hits for the Tigers to win. That's some good pitching right there. Speaking of good pitching, one team in this game had it, Cardinals and Brewers. O'Neill would start off the scoring for the Cardinals. I feel like the Cardinals have scored more in the first inning than anybody else. As O'Neill doubles in the first, 2 walks to Arenado and Newt Bar load the bases. A single by Bader scores 2 runs. 2 more runs score on a Kisner single. That's 4-0. Carlson is hit, scores on a Goldschmidt double. Goldschmidt scores on the Arenado single in the top of the 2nd. It's 6-0. Sosa singles, Edmund homers. It's 8-0. In the bottom of the 7th, McCutchen, Renfroe, and Narvaez all single, not consecutively, but they all single to get the Brewers on the board, making it 8-1. O'Neill singles, Arenado homers. The Cardinals win big, 10-1. Arenado was the first start, 2 for 3, 2 walks, 3 RBIs, a home run. Miles Michaelis was the second star. He went 6 2/3, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts. Kisner was the third star, 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs. 10 runs, 14 hits, no errors for the Cardinals. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for the Brewers. Cubs-Rockies. This game was interesting, I would say. Top of the 2nd, VR, Hayward, Rivas. All singles scoring a run. Ortega then singles, scoring another. It's 2-0. Madrigal and Contreras both double, making it 3-0. But the Rockies put up a freaking number. And like I said in the other few recaps, You need a good way to win a baseball game is if you put up a crooked number in an inning. Bryant singles, McMahon doubles, Brewer on, both score on a Sam Hilliard double. Hampson walks, and Alan Trejo. You don't know who that is, do you?
Mm-hmm.
He was I don't know why, but there are 3 Rockies prospects that didn't necessarily catch my eye. Ryan Velotti, Colton Welker, and Alan Trejo. Trejo is one of them. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on with Velotti and Welker. But when I was looking at the rosters before the lockout ended, I saw Welker, Velotti, and Trejo, and I was looking at their their career so far. But Trejo homers. It's not really anything that I thought. I wasn't like, oh, I saw this guy and I thought it was gonna be good, and he was. It's like, hey, I remember that guy. I was looking at him on the roster 4 something months ago. On the top of the 5th, Contreras, Happ, and Schwindel single to load the bases. VR gets a sac fly, 6-4. It's 5-4. Then it would be 6-4. In the bottom of the 5th is Crone homers. That would make it a 6-4 Rockies lead. That would be an important home runs in the top of the 9th of VR and Wisdom both double, making it 6-5. But the Cubs lose 6-5, a 1-run game. Chero was the first start. He had the most important hit of the night, 1 for 4 with a home run, 3 RBIs. Hilliard went 1 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. Contreras 3 for 5 with an RBI and a double. Contreras on the losing team, but a 3-hit night is pretty good. 5 runs, 13 hits, no errors for the Cubs. 6 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Rockies. Braves Padres. This game went by kind of quickly. Albies hits a solo shot, making it 1-0. And the top of the 4th of Riley doubles. Ozuna drives him in on a single. It's 2-0. Abrams is hit, steals second. Kim singles him in. And then Kim scores a Machado double. Machado is hitting the ball very well. It's 2-2. At the top of the 8th, the Braves would separate themselves from the Padres. Riley and D'Arnaud would single, both scoring a Duvall double. Duvall would later score on a wild pitch. 5-2 would be the final score. Braves beat the Padres. 4-5 for the Braves now. Duvall went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Kyle Wright went 5 in the 3rd innings pitched. No, 5 innings pitched. Excuse me. I thought that I put IP. I thought the I was a 1. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts. Very good game. Pretty good game for him. Mackenzie Gorman is debuted. He wasn't too bad. It was just that the Braves won, so that takes more of a I don't want to say precedent, but you know what I mean. He wasn't bad at all, and I think it could be pretty solid. Machado went 3 for 4, RBI and a double. I'm pretty sure Gore went 4 and something innings, if I'm not mistaken. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Braves. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Padres. Well, I don't want to talk about this game. You can guess what I'm talking about. It's the Astros and the Mariners. And Jake Odorizzi, I don't know if he should be on the Astros anymore. I really don't. Now, this by no means wasn't all his fault. But again, I don't know if Pedro Brad should be on the team anymore. I don't know if Brian Bray should be on the team anymore. We got this idea of a revamped bullpen, but I don't really a revamped pitching staff. The pitching staff has been nails for us. But I still don't think that Brady's very good. I still don't think that – well, I thought Baez was going to be a good acquisition in 2020. But I don't see him being good anymore because something happened to his arm, and now his velocity is way down. And he's lucky to reach 90. I saw him reach 90 last night, and I was like, wow. I think I said that word. And Brady – I think he's too inconsistent, but we'll talk about the Mariners because they deserve some credit. Frazier singles, he's moved over and then scores on the Winker single. It's 1-0. Kelnick and Rodriguez walks. Kelnick is caught stealing. Murphy singles, and then Frazier triples, scoring 2. I think it's probably a good thing that the Astros haven't seen Adam Frazier except when they played the NL Central and Interleague before this year because, man, Adam Frazier seems to hit them pretty well so far. And it's 3-0. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Winker and Haniger single. Suarez gets an RBI fielder's choice. You're like, okay, they get out 1 run, 4-0, still salvageable. And not with this team so far. Murphy walks. Frazier doubles. A single makes it 6-0. Wait. Yes. Sorry. I thought I misread, but I didn't. Gurriel doubles and series singles. Hey, the Astros finally scored a run. And then in the 7th, Crawford singles, Suarez walks, Kelnick hits a sac fly, Murphy walks, and Frazier singles, making it 9-1. And then Crawford gets hit by a pitch in the bottom of the 8th, and then Suarez homers. The Mariners win big 11-1. Mariners deserve some credit. It is all still only 1 game, so don't freak out, if that makes sense. Because I know how the Mariners have gotten some lofty expectations and not in the past few years, but in certain years in this playoff drought, just to disappoint and lose on the last day of the season. But Frazier was no doubt the first star. He was 4 for 5 with 4 RBIs, a double and a triple. Marco Gonzalez, the Astros had hit him well before his last start against them in 2021. They only scored 2 runs off of him in that game, and they only scored 1 run off of him in this game. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts. He was undeniably the second star. Heck, you might even be able to make him the first star, but Frazier, he was really good last night. Suarez went 1 for 4 with a home run, 3 RBIs. The Astros offense struggled. Now, besides their 13-6 game, which their announcers couldn't even call because of those horrible Apple TV announcers, they scored 3 runs in the first game. Then they had 13, so that's good. They got shut out on last Saturday, exactly a week ago, and then they scored 3 runs again on Sunday. And then on Tuesday in Arizona, first game they scored 2 runs. Second game they scored 2 runs. This game they scored 1. Not good offense so far. I think they'll wake up. I don't think it's a lost cause, especially since their pitching has been so good. But they need to pick it up, I would say. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for the Astros. 11 runs, 13 hits, no errors for the Mariners. This is the last game. I think I made pretty good timing so far.
You did really well.
I'm losing some breath. Okay. Reds, Dodgers. This game got pretty interesting, and this is something we could talk about. This is something I'd like your opinion on.
Okay.
Muncy, not this, but I'll tell you when it gets there. Muncy doubles in the bottom of the second. This happens first. Taylor drives him in on a single. Dodgers lead 1-0. In the bottom of the third, Lux singles, scores on a triple by Trey Turner. Lux triples. I feel like there's more triples. I was thinking that on like Tuesday or so. I was like, man, I haven't seen too many triples. And then I know Wong has 2 triples since then. Sanchez has two triples, I believe. Chisholm has 2 triples, and then there are 2 triples in this game. And Frazier had a triple. So I guess there are more triples ever since I thought that. And now I've said the word triple so much, it sounds like a weird word, not like a normal word. Betts is hit. 2 walks to Freeman and Turner. Score Lux. Okay, it's 3-0. Top of the 6th, Votto is hit. He exchanged his words with Tyler Anderson. Some people are saying that Votto shouldn't be upset because the ball that was near his head was, quote-unquote, not intentional. Now, I say that if you, as a normal human, not as a baseball player, as a normal human, who's probably, like, watching from their couch, eating potato chips, have a ball thrown at you at 79 miles per hour, how would you feel? You would, A, probably be scared, and B, you probably wouldn't be too happy because the ball is coming right at your face. So I don't know how intentional it was from Tyler Anderson. I mean, I don't think it would be because they're only up 3-0, and that'd be a stupid way to lose a game. Not that the Reds have any offensive firepower to come back from a 3-0 deficit with this gutted team, but it would just be a dumb way to lose the lead. And I just think it's silly that people think that because it wasn't intentional, you shouldn't be upset. We're going to go back to cars and your example. My example is this guy rear-ended my mom a few weeks ago, about a couple months ago, I would say. But this guy rear-ended my mom. He obviously didn't do it on purpose. But should my mom be like, "Oh no, it's okay. You didn't do it on purpose," or should she say, "That's a tongue twister. You rear-ended my car. I am upset because my car is dented." That's kind of the thing. I think anybody would be upset or nervous if a ball comes flying at their face, a hard ball like a baseball at 80 miles per hour or faster. This one was at 80 miles per hour. That's why I used that speed.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to see it to know, but generally when the ball comes at your head, yes. But now baseball players get angry when it goes everywhere. I know you're talking about the head, so I don't disagree with you, but at the same time, usually you know when there's intent. So I'd have to see it to make a judgment.
Yeah, and I don't know how upset Votto really was about it because he was kind of making jokes. He said something like, I was walking up the base. He asked me what my name was. I said like Scott or something, and then asked what his name was. He said he was Ezekiel, and then something about fire. he was saying like all sorts of. I don't know how serious he took it, but in the moment he seemed upset, and it was kind of just like a bit of a storyline. I was thinking, I really don't think that any tough any 12-year-old trying to be tough on the internet. That's a lot of tease. Saying, "Oh, it's not intentional. I wouldn't be scared if a ball came 80 miles per hour in my face." Yeah, you would. But that ends up leading to a words exchanged, and Moustakis and Farmer single scoring the only runs for the Reds. Only run for the Reds. The Dodgers beat the Reds 3-1 and take a 2-0 lead in the series. They can win the series tonight as Lux goes 2 for 3 with a triple and an RBI. He was the first star. Turner goes 2 for 4 with a triple and an RBI. He was the second star. Gonsolin threw 4 shutout innings, giving up 3 hits and 2 strikeouts to start the game. He didn't get to win because he only went 4 innings. But I kind of had to find somebody. Turner was 0 for 2. He had the only other RBI. The Reds lost, and Gutierrez for the Reds only went 4 1/3. So it was kind of hard to find the second star, or the third star. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. The Reds 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Dodgers have won 4 in a row. Also, I forgot to mention on the Royals Tigers game is that the Royals currently have the longest losing streak in baseball at 5 games in a row. So that's all the games. You could do the outro.
All right. Well, those are the games from April 15th, 2022, even the disastrous Astros game. We got another Astros game in about 30 minutes that we're going to check out together. Hopefully the Astros do better. Ryan Presley's on the disabled list.
Mitch Haniger has COVID.
And who else knows who's got what?
I'm pretty sure Conha for the Mets has COVID too. But I'm trying not to do all the COVID stuff because last year it became such a revolving door. It was like it's news that someone's not on the COVID list.
Yeah, we won't bother you with all that. I just thought it was kind of interesting. Ryan Presley went on the list.
Yeah, I think that if I was putting everyone who was on COVID, I think the video would be like an hour long.
I think it was a knee for Ryan Presley. At least that's what I heard. Until tomorrow, thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.